Absconding Indian businessman Vijay Mallya has been declared as a fugitive economic offender by a Mumbai court. His properties can now be confiscated by the Indian government. Vijay Mallya became the first tycoon to be charged under the new Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. The Anti-Corruption Court, which was hearing a plea by the Enforcement Directorate, also refused Vijay Mallya's application to stay the order to give him some time to appeal. The new law is aimed at stopping a growing number of high-profile economic offenders fleeing the country to avoid legal action. It defines a fugitive economic offender as a person against whom an arrest warrant has been issued for his involvement in financial crimes involving at least 100 crore rupees. Last month, a court in the United Kingdom said that the liquor baron could be extradited to India to face graft charges. The liquor baron, who fled India in the year 2016, is accused of defaulting on 9,000 crore rupees in loans.
A special anti-corruption court in Mumbai today declared absconding Indian liquor baron Vijay Mallya a fugitive economic offender. Mallya has been declared an FEO under Section 12 of the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. Now, this court order empowers investigating agencies to confiscate Mallya's properties and assets, domestic and international, giving further impetus to his impending extradition to India. In Mumbai, Pragya Jha for Wion, World is One.
And we have Shantanu Sen, former Joint Director of the CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, the premier investigation agency of India, live from New Delhi. So thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here, Mr. Shantanu Sen. Talk to us in terms of what this latest Prevention of Money Laundering Act court, its order means for the entire Vijay Mallya saga.
You see, when I was in the CBI, we didn't have such an act. And we had an ordinance, which was actually an act, where attachment of property, which was declared disproportionate to your income, was possible. But then the entire procedure was civil. The trial court could not attach the property. You had to go to a civil court and follow up, and so it was rarely done because civil procedures are long and prolonged. This government has really hit hard at economic offenders. According to the latest report, in the last 5 years, 25 of them had fled the country. So I'm sure our special court, special CBI court, and which also is the ED court, should have their hands full. And all agencies, the ED and the CBI and probably the customs also, will approach these courts for confiscating the properties of those who have fled from our laws. And that is a very good decision, very good action. I'm sure it will hit hard at these offenders, and it will give them a blow, a bloody nose.
Right, Mr. Sen, I also wanted to ask you, talk to us in terms of, when you're, going through an investigation like this that spans so much, when you have a law like this, it's a brand new law that's introduced to clamp down on high-profile economic offenders. How much does it help investigative agencies and government agencies in general, like the CBI or the Enforcement Directorate?
As far as investigation is concerned, it is not of much help. You have to investigate, you have to collect evidence, you have to record statements, you have to get forensic evidence. All that has to be done. Now the person absconds and is not available to you. You had no other action except issuing a warrant of arrest and searching him out. You could attach his properties, but that was only a minor deterrence. Now these properties can not only be attached, they can be confiscated. There is a difference between attachment and confiscation. So this property can in effect become the property of the confiscating authority, that is the government. Attachment means that his property still remains with him. Once he appears, the property can be surrendered to him. So this is definitely a first step in ensuring that the offender, the criminal, faces the law. Otherwise, the criminal just runs away and he is sure that the property will not be confiscated, it will be attached, so he won't be fearful. Now there is an economic deterrent, and I am sure it will help the investigating agency to get hold of the economic offender in quick time.
Right. Mr. Sen, please stay with us while we are talking about high-profile economic offenders. We have one more update coming in from fugitive Indian diamantaire Nirav Modi, who is accused in a multi-crore Punjab National Bank fraud case, and he has denied any wrongdoing and called the alleged scam a civil transaction being blown out of proportion. Now, the statement was made in Nirav Modi's response before the PMLA, or the Prevention of Money Laundering Act court, in which he opposed Enforcement Directorate's complaints to have him declared a fugitive economic offender. In his reply, absconding businessman Nirav Modi also stated that he won't be able to return to India, citing security reasons. Nirav Modi fled India in January last year after he was found to have defrauded state-run bank Punjab National Bank of 13,000 crore rupees. The diamantaire has been absconding ever since, despite repeated summons from probe agencies and court. Mr. Shantanu Sen, do you think the same law with which the government can now confiscate Vijay Mallya's properties can also help us nab Nirav Modi and, for that matter, Mehul Choksi?
I see that as a distinct possibility. After all, both of them are charged for a criminal offence. Vijay Mallya also pleads it's a civil offence. He has not paid back the loan, he had no criminal intention. But the investigating agencies have held otherwise. Now, of course, in his case, the extradition procedure has started and we have won in the first court. Extradition orders have been issued. He has the right to appeal, and then he has the Home Secretary to order the extradition. In Nirav Modi's case, he has not been arrested. Extradition procedure has not started. So once the extradition procedure starts, I'm sure our courts will also look into his the allegations, and if they hold it's a criminal offence, the same law, same Fugitive Offenders Act, recently made into law into this country, should apply to him. I see no difference between the two offences.
Right. Stay with us. I just touched upon Mehul Choksi, and there's more trouble for absconding diamond jeweler Mehul Choksi, because less than a month after a red corner notice was issued against him, the Enforcement Directorate has now seized a factory in Thailand worth over 13 crore rupees of a Gitanjali group company owned by Mehul Choksi. This is in connection with the alleged $2 billion Punjab National Bank fraud case. The agency has said that it has issued a provisional order for the attachment of the factory premise owned by Abbey Crest Thailand Limited, which is a group company of the Gitanjali group of companies. The value of the property is a little over 13 crore rupees. The Enforcement Directorate is probing this case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, or PMLA. Mehul Choksi, his nephew, and diamond jeweler Nirav Modi and others are being probed under various criminal laws after the fraud came to light following a complaint from the Punjab National Bank authorities that they allegedly cheated the nationalized bank to the tune of over 13,000 crore rupees. Both Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi are absconding since the case was registered by the Enforcement Directorate and the Central Bureau of Investigation, or CBI. Mehul Choksi was last reported to be in the Caribbean nation of Antigua and Barbuda. Mr. Sen, one last final question from you. Where do you think we are when it comes to Mr. Mehul Choksi, the investigations behind him and bringing him back to India to face the law?
In the case of Mehul Choksi, I think the extradition procedure has started. While I don't know whether he has been arrested, probably not, but the extradition has been sought from Antigua and Barbuda, and the latest reports that I had happened to read showed that they were examining, and since there is definite case that he sought citizenship when he was being investigated as a criminal, there is every likelihood that the extradition procedure will succeed.
Right.
And I am sure in his case also, the properties, confiscation of his properties can be initiated under this law. This is a good deterrent law against economic offenders.
Right. Mr. Shantanu Sen, taking time out to be with us here for all those top stories. Thank you, Mr. Sen, for being with us here on Wion World is One.